two pieces in the show. One is called Hyperforum, that's this one behind me, and the other is called Oracle. This piece is it's made out of a lot of different recordings from lots of different public spaces in Rome, from small neighborhood gardens up to big piazzas with lots of tourists, or places where kids play basketball or skaters skate, these kinds of... What I'm interested in, having all these different kinds of activities and listening to how the sounds of the activities work with the acoustics of the architecture. It's very dynamic. Now it's quite quiet, sometimes it's incredibly loud. I try to keep the volumes of the sound the same as they are in reality. So that's something that amazes me about Rome, is that there's a huge difference between these very quiet spaces and incredibly noisy places, where it really surprises me that anybody wants to be there, because there's so much traffic, for instance. So it's a kind of a way to experience all these different places in one. Yeah. The second piece in the show is called Oracle 2.0, and it's a sort of 21st century oracle, looking back to oracles of antiquity like the Oracle of Delphi, but also looking at things like the I Ching and writers who predict the future. And if you go there, there's a bench which you can sit on, and if you're lucky, it'll speak to you and it'll tell you something. And it could tell you all sorts of things. So it could tell you, for instance, if the person you're going to meet is late or not, or it could tell you that you were wearing the wrong shoes today, but it could also, for instance, tell you what the winning lottery numbers will be. It also knows about the financial markets, and it can give you advice on how to invest in young artists as well. So it knows a lot about everything, and it wants to share it with each individual visitor. But really the idea is that every person going there gets a different prediction. They're all different, more or less. So these people go there individually, but they take away this little sentence or one or two of these things as a kind of story, then they take it with them into the city. I see also that I'm really interested in urban stories. I work a lot with stories in the city, and this is really kind of about the containers or the possibilities or the architecture, the places that make these stories possible. Sort of places where people can come together, where people can happen, where surprising things can happen. It's always difficult working with sound in galleries anyway, because especially with sounds that appear to come from outside, because we have the acoustic of the gallery. Anyway, that's why I worked with this cube idea, to have the space create a kind of cube of sound, which sounds very different inside or outside. But I think it's the curator's idea to have all the works flow into each other, and that works very well with these long galleries where you walk around from one piece to another, where you're walking through one... It's like a large composition as you move through the space, which I like very much. It's very difficult to make a sound show, and usually people try to isolate all the pieces and it never works properly. So I think it's better to compose it together like this.